Hello everyone, welcome to the Patch Us In podcast. This is a very special episode for two reasons. First reason is I've got the usual guys, Dom.
Hey guys.
And Hugh here.
Hi everyone.
But we also have a very special guest, a good friend of the podcast, Tam. Say hi, Tam.
Hi.
No, he's
okay, so we don't have that's very short-lived.
He's not friend of the podcast, Ross. He's podcast
I didn't say
friend,
Ross, did I?
Tam.
Don't start us again, Hugh.
No, there's very specific
We've been
names.
arguing all day. This is, do you want to be friend of the podcast, Tam, or you want to?
I mean, I don't really want to be lumped in with Ross. I want to feel special. I don't want to feel like I'm together with Ross because he's just like a really big version of me.
That's selling yourself short, literally, like in two ways. We'll come up with something, right? We'll brainstorm that. The second reason why it's a very special one is it's the first one of our Resident Evil watch through. Yeah, that's how we all feel about that, isn't it? So last time, sorry.
Oh no, yeah, because again, from when we were the last time we were watching movies and stuff, it's the enthusiasm sort of dwindled quite quickly. And this one, I don't see it happen as fast, but it will happen. We will crash and burn.
Well, on the last podcast, we talked about it briefly. You had already rewatched the first one and I hadn't, and I think I said, I don't remember it being that bad, and you guys are like, wait until you see it. But you know what, overall I don't think it was that bad. Obviously we'll get into it, but
if you could see if someone said, hey, show me something that summarises 2002, or like what was the feeling of 2002, this film is it, because you could date this film to the fucking month. Alright, okay, what music's that? Yeah, alright, okay, look at CGI like that. Oh wait, okay. Oh, that kind of joke, fuck's sake, 2002.
Yeah. So had you seen the films before, Tam? Did you
I seen them when they first came out, but it was...
Did you have fond memories of them?
No. The only thing I can actually remember is the Slipknot video for My Plague. That was literally the only thing I could actually remember.
They absolutely neutered My Plague for that fucking... The soundtrack. They took out Corey Taylor screaming, they took out the heavier riffs and they gave it a bit of...
Clean.
Yeah.
Clean
I think they done a special edition album version as well, where it was just an all clean version that they done.
They did that later
Couldn't
on
handle the screaming.
They did it later on for the second movie as well with Killswitch, because for the life of me I thought Killswitch was in this movie and I was like, oh, where's the end of Harry? I'm like, oh wait, no, that was for the sequel.
Yeah, that's Jill Valentine, mate. Yeah. Don't be spoiling.
It's quite funny though that they've got a Resident Evil movie, there's nudity, a lot of violence and stuff like that, and it's like, but we can't have someone screaming on a song, like that's too far. Like,
why ask Slipknot to do it? Hey guys, you're known for screaming. Do you want to sing this one, please?
Corey's like, oh, Stone Sour's, maybe a couple of years away, but okay, yeah, sure.
Banging soundtrack.
So Dom, you're probably the biggest Resident Evil fan out of us.
Yes.
Nailed.
You obviously saw these films back in the day.
I did indeed, yeah. I remember going to the cinema to see the first Resi. Because obviously being older than you guys, I got in before.
Much older.
I forgot you were that old.
Did you not look at me?
Look at me, I've got a cane tripping back. I'm like, oh, I can't believe it. I remember seeing this in the cinema and at the time being disappointed but happy that I got to see the zombies and having the name Umbrella show up in the logo.
The references.
Okay, the reference, it's nice to see that, but it definitely did not feel like a Resident Evil movie. It wasn't what I imagined. I mean, you think Resident Evil, you always think dark, haunted mansions or police stations. You think Resi 1 to 3.
There was a mansion in this film, though, for
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
And I don't know, if again, I was saying to Hamish earlier on, I've got the director's cuts of most of the movies. And this one, they had the long established shots of in the mansion, and you're like, oh, look how big it is. Too bad you're going to see this at the start and then maybe a wee bit at the end, and that's it. But it was very blue filtered, this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why it needed to be. I was like, I don't imagine a zombie movie being blue. You'd think more red or more something beat.
It was artistic flair.
Yeah. And I remember in the cinema just being like, this is feeling too slow, but at the same time way too fast. But what I mean by that, the pacing was just completely stop start.
Yeah.
You would have moments where like where the action would happen and it was close-ups of guns shooting like the zombies that are just falling about the place, and then it would cut to like, but what was that now? And then we have this slow dialogue explaining, and you're like, fucking, you're making the good bits way too fast and the boring bits way too slow.
Yeah.
Much like this rambling.
You said you got the director's cut. I downloaded like the new Ultra. I bought the new Ultra HD.
I bought it from
please,
Amazon.
Capcom's coming after me. 4K did this film no fucking favours whatsoever, man.
If anything, that would make it worse, to be honest.
100% did.
Yeah.
Like my notes had bad CGI and bad extras. I think they were doing the shots at the beginning showing like the umbrella hive thing.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the actors I recognise from British sitcoms, like extras and like the woman that got her head smushed. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
I knew exactly. I saw her in the lift and I was like, someone's gonna get their head smushed.
Do you think like that was just like the most unnecessary death in the movie? It just was like, it felt like
it was all unnecessary.
Just like, there's no fucking way you're fitting through that. Don't even attempt to fit through that.
Yeah,
there was a bit though. There was a gap. She could have definitely. She's all pull me back in. It's like the door isn't even touching you. You can just pull your head back in. You stupid idiot woman. You deserve to die.
But I just didn't like how they didn't show it. It's like, we're going to see plenty of violence. Like, just let us see that head getting taken right out.
Yeah.
I wrote, I can see what's going to happen. Lift smoosh.
Lift smoosh.
Lift smoosh. Little
Yeah.
kiss.
See,
Well, maybe that was down to the bad CGI as well. Maybe they did CGI it and it was so terrible that they just didn't put it in the movie.
I mean, just before like the other
Maybe,
one,
actually.
the elevator went down, you seen the other one just like shoot to the ground. The lift just went and then you're like, oh, that was really badly CG'd.
What did the lift do, Dom? Sorry.
Went,
The lift did it. That wee voice in Lift is actually a wee person, and they were shitting themselves.
I would have put it by this film though.
I had criticisms before that. See the bit where you see, the basically the lead up to the problem in the lab, and then so you don't know who it is at the time, but he puts it in the case.
Yeah.
He closes the case, and then the case has got like 4 wee spirit levels on it.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously you're meant to kind of keep it, and then he just grabs it and pulls it away anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, so why?
For a super high tech secure area, he's just in and out doing what he wants. He's no one's going to stop me.
Yeah, and did you see like he wasn't wearing a suit or anything like a hazmat suit. He just kind of walked in like, I'll just take this.
Dumbest guy on the planet, man.
Oh yeah, very stupid.
I mean, it probably happens the world over, doesn't it?
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
I mean, there's a few people that we know that work at a very high security place that is very, very laxed.
Yes, because they're the security.
If you just act like you belong, as they say, and
always carry a clipboard and nobody asks you questions.
Yeah.
That's
and then push your glasses up just slightly up. Oh, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Right, the next scene is probably the best scene in the whole film, right?
Is that because it's Mila Jovovich?
Mila Jovovich lying in the shower with some strategically placed shower curtain. You still saw everyone, like, it was great.
Big ass shower though.
Yeah, mate.
You could have a party in that shower.
It was massive. That is what I noticed about it as well.
Yeah.
Like, but honestly, I was just like, do you remember watching this film for the first time? Going, so who's that?
Yeah.
Like, who's this?
Yeah.
Like, is this one of the characters?
Were you asking someone that you were with? Like, Dad, who's that?
No, like, have you not got wee guys inside your head?
No.
All right, okay.
I mean, your internal thought.
Not
an actual little guy that lives.
I got rid of my conscience a long time ago.
Why do you think you drink so much?
that shuts him up.
But they just didn't like copy any of the characters from the games yet, and also the acting level in this film is so weird.
Right.
By the way,
so you were trying to figure out who it was from the games, right? I thought you meant like she's hot. I need to find out who that is.
Oh no, that was also a thought. Like, also. She doesn't get named in this film at all, by the way. No. We all know she's Alice.
Yeah, but you only see that in the credits.
It's in the credits. Yeah. No one ever actually says her name.
Yeah,
because no one asks, and because she's like, I've got amnesia.
And they're all like,
I've got plot amnesia, but I'll touch things and remember.
That's how memory works, mate.
Yeah, it does. It's like that's why Hamish, like when he has his nights, he just touches someone, like, and they it flashes back to him.
He only used that.
So Raven.
He used that in court twice or 3 times.
Yeah,
can't use it anymore.
A great excuse. I just thought it was. I thought it was funny. It's like she wakes up naked, pure disoriented, in a big mansion, and then she finds a note saying, "Like, what was it? today all your dreams come true, and it's just like every young actress in Harvey Weinstein's house. Like.
But you know, it does show that like Alice was quite smart because she just wrote it down again, thinking, okay, that's not my handwriting, so that's clearly not me saying it to myself.
Well, that's a Total Recall.
Yeah.
No, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what Schwarzenegger does, Liliana or whatever. Like, so, that is quite clever. Yeah.
So, like, see when you're taking a shower and you see like a wee speaker that's there, that you know you would not be going, what the fuck is that there for? You wouldn't be thinking, you know, oh, that's going to shoot like amnesia gas at me. But
do you be trying to turn it on, see what tunes it plays?
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you think it was on your radio?
Alexa, Bloodhound Gang.
Sorry to any listeners who'd never having to turn off Alexa. Don't worry, it doesn't actually understand Scottish accents very well.
I wrote birds jump scare. There was a really bad scene with some birds, like, and I was like, oh, there we go. There's the first scare of the film.
Yeah, you see the bit where they're like, it's just after that where there's guys jumping through the window. That was very Resident Evil, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like, remember the corridor scenes?
It was hilarious.
They were always coming through the window.
Like, there was no need to come through the window. There was a very open door right next to the windows.
Because Mr. Journalist just runs in, no bother.
Like, this guy, man, he is the worst actor in this film. I hated him. I hated him the whole way through.
Which one? You're gonna have to narrow that down.
like the guy that like stays with her the whole time, right? Because it's not James Purefoy, mate. James Purefoy is too good for this film. Like, I saw him and I was like, wait, is that James Purefoy? Like, a guy who's been in like good films? Like, what is he doing in this film? By the way, he's the bad guy.
Yeah, I got that.
Like,
I definitely seen him. Like, I didn't recognise him at first, and I was like, it's not Clive Owen, is it? But was he not like
Ryan McCuskey?
No, so you're talking about the journalist guy who pretends he's like...
Yeah, he's like,
cop.
I'm part of a cop. Right, and they're like, what are you doing out here? So I was expecting, like,
asked them no more questions.
Is like Chris Redfield or Leon Kennedy or something. It was like, no.
Who are those guys?
Those are guys from the...
Spoilers, mate.
They're guys from a franchise that's...
It's the Silent Hill?
Hi.
Sorry. I know who...
They're non-established characters in a movie adaptation of a video game.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
I mean, why wouldn't you use those already made characters?
Why would you not start there and then make your own story as you go on?
No.
Is it maybe
we need Alice.
Is it maybe because the director was married to Mila Jovovich? It was
that was after though. They get engaged after this.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he was like, would you marry me if I made you the start?
This was his wooing plan.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what was great? Because again, like I was saying to Hamish, that there's like tidbit videos that you can watch. Generally, it's like 50 things you might not know about the Resident Evil, and like Angie likes watching things like that after we watched the movie. We did it with the second one. I watched this with Craig and Mabel. Mabel's not a huge fan of scary movies, so she's very much like, I don't like this. Not once did she was scared of this. So that kind of shows you how
it's not a
scary zombie movie this is.
I just seen Hugh like, I wasn't scared either.
Oh my god! What was it going there?
Like, I couldn't be scared of the film because like
you watched it during the day.
I had the lights on as well.
I was just like, this film looks like a really high budget Channel 4 series. Like, that's the kind of, especially because some of the actors again was like the guy that get chopped into like the watermelon bits. Like, that was brilliant.
That's watermelon bits.
Mate, he was, I wrote here, watermelon man.
Hold on. Change that into something else, not watermelon, mate.
The black guy that gets cut.
Like,
he gets cut in water. You could just say diced, mate.
No, because it's red like watermelon. You just can't
What's
turn this
red
on.
like watermelon? Blood?
The part of it, like when he got chopped up, it didn't look like, obviously it looked like shit because it was like 2002 CGI and Resident Evil.
Do you know what's also red?
What?
Chunks of meat.
Yeah,
I know, but like it was
strawberries.
chopped, like
why is it going to be watermelon?
Why is it? I've got worse takes. You picked the wrong one.
But they talk about like this is the first movie that Mila Jovovich met
Mila Jovovich
met Paul W.S. Anderson.
Maybe she knows that because he's googled it loads.
Yeah. Oh no, like the top information they talk about that, and with Michelle Rodriguez, her brother was like, if a Resident Evil movie comes up, you need to go and do it. And she's like, okay, I'll do it because my brother really likes Resident Evil. Which is,
she was real moody.
And she said to her agent, like, if anyone ever makes a Resident Evil feature, get me in on it. Yeah,
it was just so crazy because like they you know, so spoilers, they kill her off.
Wait. No, they don't just kill her off, mate. There's like, I've got like every fucking note of where she gets something bad happen to her. Like, Michelle Rod get bit again.
This shit bitten out of her.
Michelle Rod's still alive. Michelle Rod's still alive. Now she's dead. Oh no, wait, no, she's not. Like there's so many bits. I was like, oh no, this is a bit she dies. No, wait. She get bitten in the first 10 minutes of the film, didn't she?
She gets, and she keeps continually getting bitten.
Right, like over and over again.
She's like, stop it. And you're like, oh wait, hold on, what?
Like, how fucking shit are these zombies? Like, they can't even infect her.
Well, obviously, like she read the script and she was like, okay, I'll do my one, and then like I'm okay getting killed off.
I mean, she's still like good at it.
She was like one of the better actors in the movie.
Like, I'm just saying that right, because see, when I watched it in 2002, I was like, oh, she's real hot. Like, it's awakened something in me, and that's why I like this film.
Yeah,
I forgot the rest of it.
I'll be honest, like, and maybe it's just because Hugh and I went to see John Wick 4, which is obviously like very highly trained kind of gun control and stuff like that. But see her like sweeping and stuff like that, like when she had the gun, it just looked bad.
Yeah, mate, I noticed there was loads of like this is gonna sound like pure geeky, but like, I know you've not to put your elbows out when you're using guns. The elbows were pure flared out, and they were like, the guns were like
dropping the gun, bringing it back up and stuff.
There was guns like they were pointing the guns at people. There was just like no training done before.
I mean, you tell we've definitely been spoiled for it, because again, Metal Gear Solid 2 had came out around about this time as well, where Kojima had went in and said for all the mocaps, it's like, we need to be trained properly so it makes it more realistic, and he had like former Navy SEALs show them how to do that, and then that's how you do notice bad cinematography that way. It's not coming from a place like, we're all just like a bunch of dicks with a podcast, you know.
Played all our Call of Duty, man.
This is what you're supposed to do with like a handgun Beretta.
I don't know, like,
do not put us in your camp, right? You're a bunch of dicks on a podcast.
Oh, okay. I'm a bag of dicks.
But you do kind of notice these things. Probably not at the time. I never would have noticed that at the time.
It reminded me of John Cena in The Marine.
He's got no time for backup.
He's got no time for backup, and he comes out shooting, but he's shooting like the sky. Yeah. And I was like, awesome.
But is it because he can't see the sky?
No, it's because he couldn't get his arms down. His arms are like,
because he was so jacked up.
He's like vitamins. I don't know what the delts were too big. Couldn't get his arms down.
Yeah, but to go back to the laser corridor scene, Tam, do you think Hugh's racist?
I do.
What a way to bring it.
Do you bet they got tricked by the doors? The doors were like, no, we'll open now, right? And then they're like, the doors are open. And then they went in, they're like, aha, doors are shut now.
Gotcha, bitch.
I said that. Goddamn Dave Chappelle, man.
And even the laser is going down, so the guy's like, I can jump this easy, and he jumps it, and then it just goes up and slices him anyway. Like,
I expected a laugh track to happen when that happened. It was like, and you're like, oh, come on.
But that is a great scene. Yeah, to be fair, I think it's an iconic scene. When we first talked about doing the Resident Evil films, that was the first bit that I thought of. Like, I remember that laser corridor scene.
Do you want to know how I wrote it down?
Okay. Don't say you said
black guy gets watermelon.
No. Ha ha ha, laser choppy.
I mean, I think that's still a bit.
Is that funny because he's a black guy?
If I say no, right, does that make it more racist? Because I treat him differently. But I've also got, I don't know what this, squint eye shock. So someone must have got a shock and their eyes went, like there was some real.
Maybe Alice.
Some of these guys
she had a lot of reaction. She was very much like when she spoke, it kind of.
She looks disinterested in a lot of the film, and it was weird.
Stoic.
Yeah.
Maybe, glazed over was the word that I would use for.
Well, I mean, she's not got a fucking memory. What do you expect?
Exactly. I think that's what the role is. It's very much like Fifth Element, very much like Lilo Dallas.
Yeah.
Like
plus, I mean, that's bad enough waking up with no memory, but waking up with no memory and then being like attacked by zombies that's a bad day.
Right, see when they jumped through the thing, my note was all moving and no talking, like, because that bit, like, there was no like exposition. I was just like, come on, let's go onto this train, and I was like, why are they taking these people onto this fucking train? Like,
well, see, they also know that there's been a leak of like a virus, and the first thing that everyone does is take off their masks.
Yeah,
just like, I'm Action Man. It's like, I'm Action Girl. And they're
actually,
like, okay,
that's a good. They could tell a very there, right?
It's a very superhero trope as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like the vast majority of the Captain Americas, he has no Captain America mask on. Just like, mate, put the mask on. Oh, don't have one
to see the handsome face, you know, or the
money maker.
Right, the Red Queen.
Yes.
And you getting notes about the Red Queen?
No.
Scary dead eyes.
I wrote PS1 Greta. No, be serious. Yeah. I looked down and I was like, that's a low ball Greta Thunberg. Like,
oh, right,
fucking
okay, I kind of see it.
And she went, "You're all going to die," and Greta said that to us as well. Like,
personally said this like on Twitter.
Like, you're all going to die. You take Andrew Tate.
Yeah,
fuck you.
And Hamish was like, come get us. I was like, got to get him off Twitter.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. No, don't you dare compare me and him.
And he always says like, I'm starting beefs because like, you know, Greta Thunberg's just like a vegetarian. He's like, oh, she would love that. And I'm like, Hamish, come on, man.
Hamish doesn't start beefs. He starts pork. Sorry, was that awful?
I think you just need to explain ham. You know, like, you sometimes call me ham. People won't make that connection.
Ham short for Hamish, which is also a byproduct of like pork, isn't it? Or a pork, a pork product.
Oh, wait, was that?
Pig's the word you're looking for.
I know, but we're talking about beef. I'm not going to say cow.
But all beef is beef, but like you get bacon, ham, pork, all from pig.
Yeah.
See, Tamwell, we've got you here.
And trotters.
Oh, there you go.
And trotters, yeah. See?
And snout.
See, this is the kind of cutting edge intellect that we need on this podcast. Very sorely lacking. Yeah.
So, see when they make smoked bacon, do they smoke the pig before they have the bacon?
No, the pig juice is like 20 a day.
Is it Malcolm?
Oh, of course. Absolute cowboy killers.
So while we'll go to here, Tam, and bear in mind, you know, you're in my house and using my microphone and stuff like that.
Let's dox him if he says some shit. Right?
Who would you say is your favourite on the podcast?
Probably Jason.
that makes a ton of sense, because see when he comes on, he's like a fucking
he's just chaos, absolute chaos,
a hurricane, just farting on the mic. Did we leave that in?
Yeah, we put it at the end. I'll see if I can find the podcast, but
I love how he just at one point he just gets bored and goes, I need a drink, and just walks away. But continues the conversation, just shouts. He can't hear what you're saying, but he'll just shout anyway.
Yeah, it was from the kitchen as well. So, but you could still hear him because the frequencies are so low that the mic would still pick him up. Like, fucking love
Mate, he was just like, we're done talking about the things I'm interested in. I'm away. So he's like,
I've had enough of this.
Fart on the mic and leave. Dom's like, that's my fucking mic.
So, do you remember when we were talking about the first Scorpion King, Hugh, and we were talking about Matthias's arrows? What would happen when he would shoot people and then they would like fly away?
Yes.
Punched them.
Did you not notice that like Michelle Rodriguez, when she was shooting that zombie, the first one that bit her, the guy shoots him a couple of times with a revolver,
nothing,
and then you know she just fires some kind of assault rifle. But like the zombie like flies away.
Like, I've got overkill with the shooting.
Yeah, like, it's like not how bullets work. Like,
it's very Looney Tunes, wasn't it? It just like pulls it and just like.
And then the zombie Batman.
Yeah, it was
is
like,
that where the zombie go?
Like, I was like, no zombie would scare from that. Nobody. But you think it would just be like, Q.
I know, like the zombies were shite in this film. Like they were really bad. Yeah. Except the bit where the guy was like, "Oh, you can't get the code for the door." There was the wee pathetic soldier guy. He always was like,
the wee Hugh of the group.
Right, okay.
Did you think the keypad for that secure location was incredibly small?
Yeah.
I don't know why it looked really, really small. Like the fingers were like, your fingers are too fat for these buttons.
That's why I was like, get out of the way, I'm going to do it. And then see when those doors open, there's just zombies who's like, and I just wrote, hilariously pulled into the zombies, because he was just like, he's like, I've got the door open. Whoa!
Take me away.
I've actually got a note on that, and I thought that was quite a good bit, like because you know there is a wee bit of a build up of like, fuck, oh come on, we need to get out of here, we need to get out of here. Oh, they finally get out. Oh no, they don't. Like, and it seems like a very kind of common trope, but I don't know, it just seemed to work in this film. Like there was a couple of bits like that where, like generally with horror movies, you can always tell where the jump scares are coming and stuff like that, or you can see it coming a mile away. But there were a couple of bits in this film that I honestly thought, like, you know, that was actually slightly unexpected. You know what I mean?
Shaun of the Dead did it better though. Like a lot of the scenes in this, I was like, oh, Shaun of the Dead obviously there's a lot of other zombie films, but I was like, oh, Shaun of the Dead did this fucking zombie bit way better, where they're getting overwhelmed.
I
mean, to be fair, it's probably one of the best zombie films ever, and it's a parody of zombie films.
Yeah, definitely.
You'd think Resident Evil would be better.
Well,
this is one of the first ones, but this is where all the teething pains come out.
Yeah, this was 2002. When was Shaun of the Dead out? Like
2004.
Ages later.
I mean, what were we on at that point? We're not on Resident Evil, like, wasn't Code Veronica?
I think it was on the
second.
Oh, you mean games or?
The games.
Code Veronica, like 4. I think 4 was just out GameCube
or coming out or something. I can't remember. But
So it's before the cat god period.
Right.
The dog zombies, they were great.
Before
like
the shell rod get bit again, by the way.
You keep us up.
You
on
just
that.
on Rod Watch.
So what's that?
Rod Watch.
I mean, if you look at his search history,
I'm giving Hamish a look like, how did you know, man? I was just like, how old is she now? Like, I think she's...
okay, he's not getting what I meant.
No.
You know what?
He agreed.
You know what? Let's move on. After that, before the spinning back kick in a tiny room on the bacon dogs.
The bacon dogs.
I wrote, who are these characters? Because there's guys like I don't know what, like I forgot all of their names, like the journalist guy, James Purefoy.
They were all kind of stupid names.
Yeah, well, they were very, like, I'm sure one was Hugh. No, Michelle Rodriguez's character was Rain.
Yeah,
and a lot of them are very much like named like
Pain.
Mr. and like Mr. Colours. I'm sure, like Mr. Black, Mr.
Yeah, there's Mr. Red
Blue.
and Mr. Grey and stuff like that. Like genuinely not like a Reservoir Dogs.
Hugh's
joke
favourite,
coming up,
Mr. Watermelon.
Right. Or is that Mr. Black? There was actually a Dr. Black.
I honestly think I was sitting there and I was like, I actually don't know anything about any of these characters. Who I was like,
I mean, are
shit.
they from the game, or were
No.
they just random?
No, they were
people?
just random.
There's Matt. That's the cop reporter guy. He's the only one I'm sure gets named Matt because like Alice is yelling his name at the end.
I just realised. Like, do you think that is a Reservoir Dog? No, because there's
I
like
think it is.
Dr. Brown and stuff like that, and there's loads of
Dr.
coloured
Brown's
things. Like,
Really shit reference on it.
Or maybe it's just Cluedo.
It could be.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
For some reason,
Clue, get fucking Clue.
for some reason, fucking Alice suddenly becomes John Wick,
Yeah, because she's remembering her training, mate.
and the zombie dogs look like bacon dogs.
Well,
So
they do have like.
You
meat
need
on
to
them.
explain to me what bacon dogs is here, because you'd said it with absolutely no context.
Hot
As if
dogs.
everybody knew what bacon was.
They look
Hot
like
dogs.
they're covered in bacon, mate. Like that's basically what they look like. I'm like, oh, those dogs have just been like in a room full of bacon and just came out. And
So why did you not call them ham dogs or beef dogs, since it's all the same?
Bacon's got that certain kind of look to it, that crispness.
Oh, this was actually
Crisp.
like on the IMDb trivia, the very top one, and probably one of my favourite trivia tidbits of any film was that the makeup people had a really hard time with the dogs because they put blood and meat and stuff like that on them, but they just kept like licking it off of each other. And there's, I think there's a scene of like 5 or 6 dogs at least. You can just imagine there's a wee queue of dogs, and as soon as they get to the end, they look back and they're like the first 4 are clean. And like, God damn it!
They must have been super difficult to work with, because I was thinking like, that does look like a lot of shit to just put on a dog, and if you've ever put anything on a dog, it just goes no and tries to take it off straight away.
Especially if it knows it can eat it.
Yeah, something edible. Yeah.
Then she did a crazy spinning back kick in a tiny little room, and I was like, there's way better strategic things to do in there.
She did her like kind of Jet Li running off the wall.
Yeah,
Matrix
that's
shit,
it.
which apparently she trained for like ages. Like she did actually do quite a bit of training. She did all but one of her own stunts.
Yeah.
Nearly
I did
over
hear
it,
that.
yeah.
Like she's quite like, again, I think it was more from the Fifth Element and stuff, because like I forgot how much like she fights in that as well. Because like she learns quite a lot about like on the TV monitor and stuff, while Bruce Willis is just dicking about with Chris Tucker.
Yeah. Oh, we need to watch that film. I wrote here Clever Girl, which is obviously a Jurassic Park reference. There was obviously a dog just like staring at her from the side. Just thought I'd let you know that.
But like, what did you think about that? What did you think about that scene in general with like Alice, like just becoming a bit more superhuman? Like, because again, it wasn't a case of like, she's remembering. It's a case of like, who the fuck thinks like to kick a dog in the face like that?
It's a zombie dog, mate.
Yeah, but like, still, like, you're going to be like, alright, hold on, I've no stretched. I've been walking around like aimlessly running away from zombies and stuff.
Yeah,
Let me just do this
running
crescent
and
kick from a
I mean,
fucking.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere, didn't it? Like,
yeah, but I mean, she's been running. The adrenaline is going because there's zombies everywhere. Which they don't actually call zombies in this, do they? They don't
No.
really say the zombie word
I don't
at all.
think it's the Z word.
That's I kind of hate that trope in like
Yeah, they don't ever say
in
it.
zombie movies.
They're
Like,
just infected, aren't they?
or
No, I don't think-
walkers, or
legally, I don't think they're allowed to say it. I think
Is it
they're-
George Romero?
I
Does
think-
he own that?
I think he
no,
owns the
surely
Z
not. Zombie's not a trademark.
I think I'm sure it is.
I'm not
Zombie
sure.
TM.
He's a good guy. He wouldn't do that.
Zombie TM.
I don't think.
If it isn't Hamish, get on that.
I think it's basically like the idea in most serious zombie things is this is their first time dealing with it, so they don't know how to. So there's not that immediate like that's a fucking zombie, shoot it in the head moment. You know what I mean?
Like in Zombieland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically like obviously the kind of comedies and stuff like that, like Shaun of the Dead and that kind of thing. But I think the idea is canonically like there's
It's the
never
first-
been the first time it's ever happened. But
There's
How do you feel of like the umbrella logo like itself? I think that's one of the coolest logos that you could ever get in a video game or movie series.
Yeah, it's quite iconic now. Like it's everywhere. Like, as soon as you see it,
I
you're
think
just like,
it's so
Resident Evil.
distinguishable as well. Like even people that have never played Resi in their life recognise that symbol.
I love how they also predicted our life now of like just like companies that are obviously evil, but we pure love them.
Yeah.
And
mean,
there's
that's just life.
no.
were you going somewhere with that umbrella logo?
Yeah,
thing?
it was just like
Sorry.
if there's anything like that, you know, you would look at it and you think right away dread. Like this is horrible, this logo right now. But in this movie, it's like, oh, everything's run by this hive is a generated environment where you can all like you work here, you live here to help humanity. But really, it was like, no, we're doing this to make bioweapons. Like, is there any other sort of logo that you can think of that would just sort of give you that sort of feeling when
Our-
it first video?
Our podcast logo.
Our first podcast logo. That fucking monstrosity, man. Dude.
That wasn't meant to be the actual thing.
Well,
that was a mock-up, mate.
See, when you look at it now, you're like, God damn.
49 episodes later, like Andrew, we need
Like, every now and again when it comes up on my Spotify on the CarPlay, it's the old logo that comes up.
Yes.
What is that? Oh,
Thanks, Angie. Like, professionalism is up. I mean, we keep getting like the only people that like us on Twitter half the time are graphic designers.
Yeah.
Like, hey, have you got anybody that do graphic design? They're like, yeah, it's in the bio. Like,
have you seen the logo, mate?
Right.
Get the fuck.
It's actually one of my passions.
It's logo looking.
Right, so I've wrote hundreds of thousands. I think this is a line one of them says like, oh,
Hold on, while we're just talking about
Oh,
logos,
sorry.
sorry. Have you seen the 8th Army logo?
no.
It's basically
it's
the same thing.
Pretty
just-
much.
Oh,
no.
wow.
It's a cross.
It's just a kind of like inverted, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just the
I don't know.
colours are just slightly moved.
I think I've worked for a couple of companies that are the umbrella of real life. So, yeah. I don't know why I say them, but like, the guy that, you know, the guy that's a journalist, the guy that's in there to like pretend, he's just like, oh, outside there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of us that are against this, and I'm like, mate, why don't you just fucking? That annoyed me. I was just like, say millions. Just say that. Oh, there's millions of us that feel this way.
Maybe he's not done a head count.
There's thousands. There's hundreds of thousands. That's not that many, mate. Like you're not making a fucking big argument here.
Of all the shit in this film,
I genuinely thought you were going to go, no, making a fucking ice cream cone here, mate. We'll get 100,000.
It just seems so.
That's what he was leaning to as well.
It felt so out of place. It was so forced. Like, oh, there's hundreds of thousands of us, and I was like, just say millions.
Say
just
lots.
Say
Just say always.
Like,
everybody out there.
everyone
Like,
feels like this. There's hundreds of thousands. Oh, okay.
Just go Scottish, pure hunters, mate.
Aye, hunters ears.
Pure hunters ears, mate.
Aye. So, I just thought I'd mention that. Michelle Rodriguez is still alive at this point, by the way.
Okay.
But she's been bitten again.
Again? Wow.
Yeah.
So what count is that in? 7?
Like 3 or 4.
I think that's 3 in it.
And
You're on Road Watch, mate. Come on,
I know.
pathetic guy did. But is he?
Is this the guy that gets killed by Clint?
Eastwood?
Clint was,
You know I don't know the names of these characters.
no, Clint was the name that the crew gave the liquor.
Alright, I've also wrote here Liquor Be Slow.
Liquor be slow. Yeah.
Liquor look ugly though.
Yeah.
Liquor look really bad.
It looked better before it evolved, obviously.
Yeah.
Like it
It was
eats a
so
guy
that's something that I don't think is part of the games. I can't remember if the liquor eats somebody, it gains like more sentience or more
I don't
intelligence. I'm like, I don't remember that.
And when I think of the liquor, it's always got like the outside brain.
Yeah.
And that's the iconic liquor look.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
brain
Like,
exposed, no sound, listens to sound, can't see shit because it's got no eyes. Like
they went for the thing, didn't they? They went for that kind of look.
Yeah, I think that's what they were like. It's picking us off. And
have you played a lot of the games, Tam?
Aye. No, not in a long time, to be fair, but I did play 1 and 2 quite a lot with my cousin when we were younger.
With PlayStation?
Yep.
Yeah. No, don't open that door. All of that line.
It's always, I think it's the scene where you first come across the liquor where you're running down the corridor and he's on the wall.
Yeah.
That just always sticks in my head.
Too.
I was like fucking 8 or 9. Running out of my cousin's room at 2 o'clock in the morning screaming. I was scared.
It was the music in the first game. I had it for the Saturn, right? And like,
you played it?
I played it with my cousin, and she was like watching me play it, and we were going through like the corridor, and how when you open the door, it's got that fucking long ass cutscene.
Yeah,
like, the door's like opens, and there's like a fucking zombie on the other side, and she just opens the disc drive. She's like, I'm not watching. I don't have a memory card.
When he was like, thank God, because I was going to do the same thing.
I didn't understand. I was like, used to like games like fucking, I don't know, like Mario and shit like that, and I'm getting this game and I'm like, why isn't this knife killing this zombie and it's just eating me as I'm like slashing midair? And like,
I just go, ooh.
Mate, I had the same thing. I think we talked about this before. Like, but I bought like the whole pack maybe last year or something like that, and I was like, oh, you know, it'd be fun to go through them again. And I can't, was it the first one or something like that? And like, there's this zombie and it's just crawling on the floor and get a knife and I'm trying to stab it and it's just eating me and I'm like, why is this fucking thing not dying? Like,
yeah,
this is bullshit.
You may just avoid them, wouldn't you?
Aye, but see, if you think about it, like, for most people, probably it was the most kind of the first
scary
game, for first horror game, kind of the most mainstream one anyway.
Mate, it was one of the best sellers on PlayStation as well. PlayStation.
Probably for a lot of people, it was probably the first game they played as well.
Yeah,
going out on the PlayStation 1 and all that.
Yeah. Cutscenes as well.
That one where like they walk up to the zombie, but they don't realise there's a zombie, and the cutscene is the face turns round, and like that was iconic at the time. Now it looks pretty funny because it's like quite.
Well, if you haven't played the Resident Evil remake that's on GameCube, or it's now like basically everywhere, like the scene still holds up, like with it up-resed and.
Oh no, that was a GameCube exclusive, mate.
I say that. But do you know what they've done with the original game? Like, again, when they do remakes, obviously we're on Resident Evil 4 remake, because they've done the second one and that was just like gangbusters. The third one didn't do as well, but this fourth one's done really well again.
Basically like the real ones.
The first game where if you kill a zombie you have to now burn the body or they come back up as Crimson Heads and they chase you. They actually run after you rather than just slowly come at you. And it's terrifying. The first time I remember seeing that, I literally shit myself. It was a bad time.
I remember. I mean, that kind of reminds me of like, what was it? 28 Days Later. That was the first kind of big zombie thing where they actually like ran at you. It wasn't just shambling
zombies,
and it was like, holy shit, that's fucking.
That's terrifying.
They've just reinvented. Like, well, they've just updated the zombie genre. And it's just actually scary again now.
I think that was quite frightening as well, because that was probably one of the first sort of horror films that you seen, like London, somewhere that you actually knew was an actual place, and you could relate to it. Like for us anyway.
That kind of brought it closer home. Like.
Yeah, because Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that in the States, it's like big malls and stuff. Like, it's like, oh, we don't have anything like that.
They all had guns as well. We're like, oh, what you got, mate? Well, hey, I said it in the wrong house, but like...
most people, it's like a brick and a kitchen knife. Like.
Brick and a kitchen knife, that's all you need here. That's you well armed.
What was I going to say though?
The rage zombies scared me because I don't have good stamina, so like I'm done, man. Like,
well, that's in Zombieland, you know, like cardio is one of his rules, isn't it? Like the slow people are going to be the first to go.
Yeah.
Imagine you're chased by like Usain Bolt or something like that. You're like, why? Like,
all the people.
Why? You're just.
What do you think would be the next evolution for zombies? Like zombies on segways?
Well, no, didn't George Romero make another Dawn of the Dead and they can like now shoot guns and that?
Yeah, you got kind of mentality.
Like, how long is it before they just become hillbillies? Like, that's the natural evolution, isn't it?
Well, that's the whole thing. It was
they just stop eating people and just start fucking each other.
Yeah, and
shooting
and making
people that come on their land.
Mutant zombies.
No, this is like a Nier game. I don't know if you've ever played Nier.
Yeah.
There's a scene where the robots are just fucking each other, like, and they're like obvious robots. They're like wee tin cans, like R2D2, and they're like the whole thing in the game. It's like all philosophical about how life creates life.
You watched the whole thing,
like
completion.
I wanted to see what would happen there.
That whole completion of download, like upload.
And I was like, right, so everything wants to fuck. Okay, just wanted to know.
That's why they use WD for it, mate.
It was squeaking. Anyway, where were we going?
Yeah, that's a degreaser, not a lubricant, by the way.
All right.
I mean, if you're going to make a robot sex joke, come on, guys, do your fucking research.
I'm so sorry.
What's your
I
next,
apologise.
What's your next note, Hugh?
It feels like parts were cut. Like, there's a few like bits at the end of this film where there's like continuity's a bit weird.
Well,
Yeah.
as Dom was saying, Dom get the
Director's cut,
so maybe that's...
Yeah, so it feels like, again, with the pacing...
maybe it's just a bad film.
No,
that too.
like, again, the movie in general feels like the bits that should be elongated were cut down so short that the boring bits were all kind of stretched out way too long. Like, the scenes when they were walking through, like, the labs where the water is, and like, what happened to these people? We don't know what happened. Instead of being like,
It sounds
yeah,
like
the shit flooded you. Let's get out of here.
Sounds like they're just taking, inspiration from the games, because some of the dialogue was kind of like that.
Yeah, it was pretty
It would
bad.
have been so funny though if Alice was just like walking through a door, but like really slowly.
And it cuts to just a door just opening up.
I think I could have handled that. Next one I've got is Dead Purefoy. So like he turns his back on everybody.
Well, that's because he touched the table and he remembered stuff, didn't he?
They both they touched each other. They remembered shagging each other, and then like they were like, oh wait, you're evil actually, and then
You're fucking evil and you're fucking me.
he just kind of leaves. The soldiers are really shit because he gets the guns off them and stuff like that.
Yeah. See, to be fair though, like if he remembered and she didn't, if I was in that position, I was like, she thinks we got married, then I think I'd be like, I can play along with this.
Yeah.
What do you know? What was weird about that, like the whole marriage thing? If it was it was definitely like a setup, but inside the ring was like a property of Umbrella. Like, imagine you had a wedding ring that had that on. It's like, motherfucker, company, you owe my wedding ring, no inscription.
Is that what you're going to get for Angie?
I was thinking that. Property of Umbrella. Wait, hold on, what?
Sinead was like, oh, so what do you want your wedding ring to be like? And I was like, can I have the One Ring? And she was like, what does it have on it? And I was like, well, it can have nothing, or it can have Elvish.
Like, do you know what it says on it though?
Yeah. Because Gandalf says it in a very...
Go on then, say it.
No,
One
Hamish.
ring to rule them all.
Thanks, Tom.
That's all.
Anyway.
You think that's all it says on it? Is that all it
No, Hamish, I'm not doing this. You're not embarrassing me. You can't
I'm
just
just
corner
asking.
me into embarrassing me. No, because I'll get it wrong, and then you'll clip it and you'll put it online.
I'm just, a lot of people don't know what it says, so
I don't know, let's Google it then. No, I'm not doing it, Hamish.
I'm just
Anyway.
asking.
This is a kind of conversation that leads to voice notes.
Yep.
I wrote one liner. I think someone said a good one liner, and I wrote, now she's dead. Wait, not yet. Now they're both dead. Right, because Michelle Rodriguez dies, then she wakes up.
You need to tell the listeners that you're using the ear bunnies.
Alright, they're on the train on the way out now because James Purefoy has been eaten by the liquor and they think they're getting away on the train.
Do you know in that scene as well, see before he gets done in by Alice, that she whacks him on the head and it cuts to inside the train? She actually did hit the actor.
Really?
Right, full force in the back of the head and concussed him.
Nice.
Because she's really bad at doing fight choreography. She doesn't know how to pull punches. She really hurts a lot of actors. So again, a lot of people maybe you should leave the stunts to other people. She's like, no, I want to do it. I'm just really bad at pulling my punches. Yeah, that's the reason why we're asking you not to do that.
Maybe she just doesn't like her colleagues and she can get away with it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I'm the leading woman.
Perfect excuse, innit?
What are you going to do? Sack me?
I've also
I'm gonna try that in work. It's like, I'm not really good on the till. I'm just gonna punch them. I just need to translate this.
No.
Change.
Right, I've wrote here, if there was an antivirus, right?
Yes.
Why was there such a massive panic? Why didn't they just keep the antivirus, keep a version of the antivirus off-site, and then just go in with guns with antivirus in it? Or
Well, because
Have you heard of COVID-19?
I know. Aye.
Well, when Greta's talking to Michelle Rodriguez about it, she's like, "There's no guarantee it's going to work at this stage." So
50%
not,
chance.
it's not like a
It's like
guarantee.
15 minutes into the film, Hamish. She lasted a good extra hour.
I know, but what,
That's 'cause she's a fighter.
yeah, that's because it's Michelle Rodriguez, mate. Just
She did it for
being in
family.
Fast and the Furious and
I
stuff. like
expected, I expected Vin Diesel to come flying in his car like family.
My only other note is like it's another criticism, but like Mila Jovovich, after she learns, she remembers about being a badass. Every time that she's shooting, and I think it's during the dog scene that I notice when she's shooting dogs in the face, she blinks every time that she's shooting, and it's like, if you're some hardcore badass operative, surely you can shoot without blinking.
Maybe she just liked the dogs and she was holding back the tears.
See, when I was wee, like proper young, and I would be playing video games where you had to like kill animals and stuff like that. I remember being like to my mum, like, I don't want to kill them, and she was like, "Oh, you're not killing them. Just whenever you hit them, they teleport somewhere else."
That's horrible.
That's a lovely lie.
Yeah.
Until you go outside and start doing it in the real world.
Why are you not teleporting?
just smashing a bird with a brick.
I love this Resident Evil podcast.
It's also a great start, isn't it?
Did you not find the last fight at the Liquor kind of rubbish?
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, it was alright. Like, what? How else are you meant to do it? Like, bare
Well,
knuckle, fucking.
wasn't it
Just
the big
because you love Never Back
crescendo?
Down, you're going to be like, oh, they need
Like
to
how-
fight.
Well, I bet knuckle fight with a zombie. Just wait till movie 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, aye. I've got a lot to say about that as well.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel like it was probably budget, right? Because the Liquor CGI was probably costing them shit tons of money.
Yeah, I think it was like quite. The CG budget was really high for this because Capcom kept coming back with like different, like, it's like, oh, it can't look too much like this or too much like that, because I think Resi 4 was coming out.
Yeah.
And they were trying to shy away from like the T-virus and stuff, because that's when they were trying to be like, oh, it's a parasite this time now and it's going to be something different. So I think that was why it looked funky.
Yeah, the film didn't really have a lot of like consistency.
I thought it was alright, like they had to work together to kill it and stuff like that.
Yeah, teamwork.
Yeah, it was okay. And the idea of, catching its tongue in the grate with
Yeah.
the metal pole, that was pretty cool. Like,
Did you think there was a lot of like one-liners that were cut? Like there was a lot of like moments where you could have said something like, "Guess you're out of luck," or
Aye.
you used like let off some steam, Bennett, with the poles. Like you should have had that moment from like Commando with Arnie. But I don't know what else you could take this to the poles.
I mean, how serious do you think this film was trying to take itself? Like, do you think they knew it was going to be
I
a
don't
bit
think
cheesy,
it
or?
knew it wanted to be. I think
No.
that was the issue as well.
It is quite confused, isn't it? The theming, like, because you were like, oh, is this meant to say something like a zombie film, but Resident Evil? No, it's look how badass this woman is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also wrote, why does Alice care about Rain? Like, she's pure greeting when she's died, and I'm like, you literally just met this psychopath like 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I mean, hard times bring people together, mate. So.
They
But
didn't
it's
like
not-
each other,
it's-
Hamish.
But it's not his fault that, like, he was just there. to help
Rain's
us.
Michelle Rodriguez's character.
Sorry?
Rod.
Rochelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez is called Rain.
When
Yeah.
Michelle
So
Rodriguez died,
she's like dying
Yeah.
in the train, and Mila Jovovich is getting dead.
Yeah.
Sad about it. Like,
I was like, oh,
But she was. But
literally like 80 people have died.
Most
So-
of them were
so,
zombies.
after
Most of
that,
them were
like,
zombies,
no
and she was
cares.
trying to save at least, trying to save everyone that was there.
Try to save the one person who's been bit like 7 times.
Yeah.
Her fake husband.
Who then
Uh,
turned out to be an asshole.
So
The
all
guy-
fake husbands turn into assholes.
The guy that was
How many
a
fake
reporter who was
husbands do you know?
he was in to try to get
A few.
his sister out, who turned out to be a zombie as well.
Clever plan he had as well.
Yeah.
Eh?
Going
No.
into the mansion and going, I'm here to do a deal. What do you mean you don't remember me? Uh-oh, guys coming through the windows.
I did just went, hey guys, I don't know what's going on here. You just want to go in there? I'll wait here. Like, but no, they're
That's
just
the
like,
difference between someone who's innocent and someone who's never going to be on How to Catch a Predator.
he's like, yeah, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. And
I
then
guess he's right there.
there's somehow a fucking a time limit now. Well, they said time limit earlier, and then they just never mentioned it again. Then they're like, oh, there's 10 seconds left, and they're just like
well, no,
strolling
you
up
saw
the
that.
stairs, and I
When-
was like, hurry up, guys.
No, you could see that when the guy was originally, when Colin Salmon, the black guy that you hate, he was explaining the Hive and stuff like that, you could see
You mean Red Queen?
when it was when he was talking about the Hive, because Mila Jovovich was like, what is going on, where are we going? You could see down the bottom left there was a wee timer going down from like 3 hours,
Yeah.
which is obviously a nod to the games, because a lot of the rewards to unlock you need to finish a game in 3 hours.
It's weird though when they got to the end, there was 10 seconds left. Her, Emilia Jovovich and the guy were just like scrolling, because I wrote, strolling with 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
Imagine they got to the door and it just locked, and you're like, oh wow, we probably should have jogged.
Imagine they got to the door and it done the cutscene where it was just a black door.
Yeah, like fuck, loading for hurry up.
It's like walking away from an explosion without walking back, though. You just need to do some things badassly.
Yeah.
Not badassly, yeah.
Badassly, yeah.
That's a new word.
And then the Train Spotting soundtrack hits.
Oh, it's for life.
Yeah, like that's what I was like. Oh, better film coming on. And then the most annoying part of this film is how she gets out of that she wakes up in a fucking white room.
Yeah.
You know, naked again.
Can I say, like, see with this, like, I think I mentioned the last time, this moment in particular, I remember watching with a friend who I shall not name, who really liked that bit, because there is some exposure
Bush.
of it, yeah, and they just were like, see, you can see it right there. I went, yes I can.
In
we watch
4K.
this movie and we'd go back and you could just watch it in 4K. So I can remember, like, with this movie in particular, we see that bit comes on, I just laugh, because I'm like, I can remember just them pausing and starting.
Pausing. Your friend will be raging, because originally in the script she was going to be completely naked, like 100%, and Mila Jovovich asked, like, yeah, can
we take it to 4K Bush instead of 8K Bush?
I actually, wear at least something?
Yeah.
They gave her like the bare minimum as well. It was like
Aye.
like a strip on her front and a strip on her back.
It's very strange.
And then she fucking gets out of the room
Uh-huh.
with the key card, and she just like pokes it, and it blows up.
Yeah, she's like, poke. There we are.
And it's like,
Access granted to high security.
that's not how key cards work.
Is it not? Have I been doing this wrong?
When have you ever poked a keycard thing?
You were gonna say whenever you use the key card. You know I use a key card all the time.
No, I was going to ask when you've poked one, because you're saying that's not how it works, like poking one, but you've obviously never poked one, have you?
Because there's nothing to poke. It's a reader.
Well, you
I know
can
what
poke
they
it.
are.
You
I
can
know
still
what they
poke it,
are.
mate.
I've used like
You can poke anything, mate.
I know you can poke it, but then
Well, I mean,
Put anything in
you
front of
can.
me. Put anything in front of me, and I'll poke it. Like,
No,
I might get arrested.
I was going to say that's how you go to jail.
but I can poke it.
How'd you
Bet
get?
money, I'll poke it.
How'd you get Pikachu on a bus? Pokemon.
Anyway, are we done? Are we
So
finished?
after that, like, then she finds the shotgun as well. That also wasn't meant to be in it. Like, the ending was meant to be she's just in the middle of the street, completely naked, no weapon or anything like that, and then you can hear like all the zombies coming, and it's meant to be like, oh well, she's got no chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
I was avoiding that because she's naked and there's zombies, and it's just seemed a bit.
She's okay. She is.
You
dead.
confused Hamish with the other film we watched.
I think with that as well, that would really annoy you, because you just watched an entire film and then you're just like, alright, so we're just going to go back to the start and do it again then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wait,
Like
what-
it's
what-
a meme.
Just a big fuck you.
well, with this, it's more just like, see all the stuff that had nothing to do with the video game. We're definitely going to do it in the sequel, so come and see the sequel.
Yeah.
Definitely see how it's Raccoon City.
I can't wait till you watch this second one. By the way,
Imagine that she walked out into the street though, and then, like Tam was mentioning, 28 days earlier on, he walks out into London. Imagine they just like both showed up in the street, like
Crossover.
or
yeah.
that she walked out in LMFAO with her and they were party rocking.
Part of it, next tonight.
Mate,
It's
honestly,
mad how they're party rocking in the house tonight, but they're always dancing in the street.
mate,
That's because
Holy shit.
That's an economy. Do you think they know this?
That's a good point, mate. How have I never noticed that? Well,
because you're usually drunk when you listen to that song.
Because every day you're shuffling.
no, I'm just. You could have just stopped that sentence that you're usually drunk.
So, is this better than Mortal Kombat, Hugh?
I can't remember Mortal Kombat that well, but no.
Because like Paul W.S. Anderson, he's like, he was kind of giving Mortal Kombat as like this movie won't do too well, and it did really well the first Mortal Kombat. Same with Resident Evil, was kind of, we're not too sure of this, fuck it, let's see what happens, and then that turned into a whole franchise that he basically put his misses into.
That he booted into the fucking ocean.
Yeah,
Like,
so I think he's written
6 films.
I think he's written every single movie. I don't think he's directed every single Resi movie, because I know the second one he definitely didn't direct that, because we'll talk about it the next time. But
I guess that's a very hard question. I think they're two different films. Like,
Yeah.
your brother's soul is mine.
But you know who-
Oh, the hell of that line.
you know who really likes? I say really likes. Who says that Resident Evil's like a guilty pleasure film and thinks it's actually quite well made? James Cameron.
Ah.
You would. Fucking Avatar cunt.
What would you, Hamish, rate this movie at? Out of 10.
Out of 10
hams. What would
Out
you
of
give
10
it?
hams, how many hams?
How many slices of bacon and ham hock
He's
and
counting how many naked Mila Jovoviches were in it.
Like
on one hand?
How many times did Michelle Rod get bit?
How many bites out of 10?
How many bites out of 10? Honestly, like, I was pleasantly surprised. Maybe just because we'd done the whole Scorpion King bullshit, and
It's
you
a good palate
guys,
cleanser, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to get this.
and you guys were, basically telling me I'm not going to enjoy it, but
Fuck yous.
That's the contracted spark, by the way.
Yeah.
but honestly, quite a few times I wrote in the notes, like, or even just thought, like, that was actually, yeah, that was alright. That kind of worked.
We actually hit rock bottom, and like with Scorpion King, we
Yeah.
we went low fast.
Aye,
Yeah,
ma-
we hit
maybe-
that ground, we're bouncing back up.
Maybe my hamometer is way off, you know what I mean? But I would honestly give this like maybe 6.5 hams. Yeah.
So
Fucking
better than
hell,
Joker,
yeah.
then?
Yes.
No, genuinely, like, as I was saying earlier on, and most of the time in horror movies, like, I could not tell you the last time I watched a horror movie and got invested in it, because you can tell what's coming. It's so obvious. They're not innovative and stuff like that at all. But yeah, like, there was a good few times in this film where I was like, that actually worked.
Can you name 3 character names without looking at IMDb behind you?
Alice.
He can name 3 colours of the rainbow. I think he'll be alright.
Yeah,
No, I want-
Alice, Dr. Black, Rain.
Watermelon Man.
What?
Anymore?
You said 3.
I know, but you said Dr. Black because you looked at it earlier.
I remember. So was he looking?
The point I was just going to make was the only names I remembered that the whole film were Alice, and shoot, that wasn't even fucking in it, and Rain, because she kept screaming Rain. Rain.
Yeah, she's in Scotland. No wonder she's like, "Ugh."
How would you rate it, Dom? How many
How many dicks?
How
would
many
you rate?
Doms would you rate it?
How many dicks are there? All the dicks, mate. With it being the first movie of many, I'd say it's bang average 5, 6 out of 10.
You're just hedging your bets so that
No,
you can
no,
go
like,
up or down
honest-
on the next one.
No. I think from just like when I remember watching the cinema to like rewatching it recently, now watching the sort of director's cut for it. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but at the same time, it's it's a bit of fun. The acting's a bit cheesy. It is very dated. You can tell it's very much like in the 2002.
You're reading a review for this podcast.
Very dated.
We don't have any. The only review we have on the podcast is Hamish is the best, because I fucking wrote it. And I stand by it.
I'm honestly surprised that Hugh hasn't got it removed.
That's how I'm going to message Google and get fucking
Deleted
it.
by administrator for lies. But
Misleading content.
I would say that this is for a movie of its time. If like when I watched it first, 6 out of 10. Now it's like, yeah, it's dated quite bad, and the soundtrack isn't as memorable as I remember it, unfortunately. But maybe next time it'll be an improvement.
Okay, what about you, Hugh, before we go to our guests rating?
This is a 4 out of 10 for me.
Motherfucker, stole my rating.
I got you.
Explain. Show you're working.
Yeah.
The only actors, this is going to be very obvious, that were any good in this were
With the
Michelle
dogs.
Rodriguez, James Purefoy, and Mila Jovovich. And even Mila Jovovich didn't get good until the latter half of the film. Like, with a horror film, you kind of need the reactions of the people, and they were the only guys that were any good. The rest of the actors were. Some of them,
for them.
some
They
of them
just
weren't-
there
I
to
know-
be died.
to be died.
To be died.
Like, the zombies weren't scary to me. They weren't scary. They didn't have any kind of threat.
When are
to them.
zombies ever scary? apart from 28 Days Later.
The
and
ones
stuff
we
like that.
explained earlier.
Yeah,
But the dogs were sort of scary, but she fucking squashed them like Triple H, like very early.
I like that. I know we're going on the ratings now, but I like the fact that scene. It's like one dog, she gets away from it, and then the dog gets through. Well, it's like one dog gets away from it, then there's a person, then the dog gets through, and then it comes out, and then there's more dogs. That's what I mean. Like there were scenes that was like that works.
Yeah,
you know? Like that's actually quite
multiple dogs.
Yeah,
I don't think it's aged well. The film, obviously, the effects haven't aged well. The dialogue's kind of shitty, and the budget.
The pacing
It's
really
probably-
suffers.
aye.
I think the most of this movie, it's the pacing that's very jarring.
But I think that's a
That's why I think-
product of its time, though. I think all films around that time were that kind of like all action, try to be stylish, like The Matrix and that, but not really giving you anything to work with.
I feel like this movie was trying to be like the Tomb Raider that came out the year before with
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
yeah.
Just like the way it was shot and like a lot of just a poorer budget and poorer acting, but that it gave me that sort of vibe. I don't know whether it was maybe that was
I actually
because of the time, but
I actually thought of Tomb Raider, but purely because Michelle Rodriguez has like the ponytail and the wee flicks of hair now,
Yeah.
and I was like, she could have played a good Lara Croft if she wasn't, Hispanic or whatever she is.
Did you know that
Hispanic.
George A. Romero was supposed to originally direct this movie as well?
And he was like, again, I've already made these films.
So you're going 4 out of 10, Tam?
no, probably about 5.
5.
It's decent. Like I say, I think the biggest thing was like Dom said, the pacing. They just concentrated on nonsense for too long, and the good stuff
It was over too
never.
much.
Never spent enough time on it at all.
Yeah. They teased you mostly for it.
Aye.
They teased you to like what this could be. And
Did you, mate?
and-
It was full on bush, mate.
And like you said, with all those slow dialogue bits as well, they never explained who anybody was or what was happening really. Like you never get any character development in that. Those long scenes either.
Well, Tam, you're lucky that there's 6 of these, right? So
Oh.
I'm sure at one point we're going to find out some stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe then the third one where they go and play games, mate.
Aye.
Just go and play games.
Aye, there's games, by the way, and they're way better.
Here's one of them going like, oh man, that resident was evil.
I know, the name doesn't make sense if it's not in a fucking house.
Yeah, what does it say? 33 million budget. The budget for this movie was, and it was 103 million it made.
It
so
did.
it showed that
103 million of
yeah,
it?
well,
It-
I don't know. It's
In 2002.
This made like over twice the amount of Dread.
Yeah.
Remember Dread with Caliban? That made like
This-
40 million.
This movie did well for game movies. Like it dropped off very quickly. Like on its like second weekend, it was like half, and then it was like nothing on the third weekend. But it was because of this movie doing well initially that things like Doom and Max Payne and stuff like that, they were
Oh,
all
good.
up, like
Now the
Oh,
makers
amazing.
realised that there was already an invested market there for
yeah.
So
I'm glad we got Doom and
So
Max Payne.
whether it's garbage or not, you're going to have enough interest for an already market there that's going to go
Yeah.
out in the first weekend and make you your money back anyway. And
Yeah.
if it is good, then
Yeah.
it's just bonus money
Aye,
for
the,
you.
the rest of the people will go
I
and
know.
see it. Yeah.
I'm taking the piss.
Yeah.
I like Doom when I saw it, but I bet you like Resident Evil. If I go back now, I'd be like, fucking hell.
Yeah, they're
It's
all
a good
pretty
actor. Carl Urban's an amazing actor.
Carl
The
Urban,
Rock
yeah.
is The Rock. I mean, we've slated that every week for the past like 6
Yeah,
weeks.
we really got to stop. Like,
To be fair-
No, fuck that, I'm calling him out.
Oh, you calling it?
I'll Hulk Hogan him.
WrestleMania next year.
I'm not,
Patches in
I will
this.
not put him over.
To be fair, the one thing that I did like about Rock in that movie is he was a hero in everything, and then this was his first, heel turn in a movie. Like he turns out to be the bad guy, and
First and last.
I don't think anyone expected that. But that's not really the Rock. That's writing.
We'll save that for when we do the Doom series, right?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so are you going to join us for the next one, Tam?
Aye. If I get invited.
We'll check the numbers too.
An enthusiastic maybe from Tam.
I mean, I'm just thinking that I could actually go home and get a nap before work, so.
How many naps do you
right.
want? You literally just woke up from one.
I know, I got to sleep like 11:30 this morning.
That was like 8 hours, 12 hours ago. I don't know how many
Quick
hours
maths.
ago it was.
That's really not 12 hours
It was
ago.
about 8, 9 hours
I mean,
ago.
so long
Aye.
as 8 or 12 hours.
Aye,
That
8
was-
or 12.
That was
Aye.
some amount of time ago.
It was more than short amount of time.
Do you know what? You go to your bed at 1 o'clock this morning, right? And I'll come to your door at 6 o'clock in the morning and see how fresh you feel when you're woke up after 5.5, 6 hours of sleep.
I literally did that this morning.
And how was your mood today?
Oh yeah, I was in a good mood all day. I mean, that was Hamish's fault.
You fucking started. Let's not. So, on Tam's behalf to get some sleep before work, and my behalf to go and get drunk right now. We're going to call it there. Dom, you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye, everybody.
Hugh?
Goodbye, everyone. Anything Hamish says after this is just him patronising you.
You say this every fucking thing.
So do you?
You do realise I can just edit you out?
Yep. You're getting deleted from the whole thing. Not even that wee bit.
I just leave that one bit in.
Conversation doesn't even make sense. Like it just like
And I
jumps like the film.
And I'm going to pass it off as patches in the director's cut. Bye everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you Tam for coming on. It's been very fun to have you after a long time of wanting to get you on. Say bye to the people, Tam, and leave us with a nice thought for the week maybe.
Get fucked.
That's fair, because he's been asking me for 2 days when we're doing this podcast, and by the way, so have I.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone.